Hi, this is Jay,
And Judy.
and we're about to embark on some pretty swell adventures.
I suspect you've seen the sales and marketing videos about the Antares 11 from Beneteau and its dealers. But where are the videos from people who own these boats? What's the boat really like to own and operate? There are hardly any videos on YouTube from owners, so we thought we'd make some to share our own journey with our 11. We're optimistically planning on making one every couple of weeks during our boating season. So like and subscribe to the channel to get notifications when we post a new one about our pretty swell adventures with our Antares 11.
We're about to take delivery in a couple of weeks on a new Beneteau Antares 11. Tomorrow, the boat arrives from New York after having come across the ocean. What did it take?
Oh, at least 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks coming across the ocean.
Well, no, it didn't take 3 weeks to cross the Atlantic. It just felt like that to us because our boat was delayed due to some missing components, so it missed its pre-booked slot on a transport ship from Europe. Eventually, it did get booking on a ship, and Beneteau gives you the name of the transport vessel so you can track its progress across the Atlantic using the Marine traffic app, where I'm showing some screen captures here. To track it all the way, you'll need to pay for satellite coverage, but it's cheap and fun to track. We first picked up the ship in Hamburg and watched it dock in Antwerp, where apparently it collected our boat, which is odd because it was built in Poland. And then it went to Liverpool, which I didn't capture in a screenshot, then across the Atlantic, where it made a stop in Halifax, Nova Scotia, before heading to New Jersey, where it was offloaded and trucked to Cape Yachts in South Dartmouth.
In any case, it comes without engines, and tomorrow it arrives at Cape Yachts in South Dartmouth, Mass., where we get to see it for the first time. Today we're in New Bedford, Massachusetts, home of the Whaling Museum and some clever places like that, to have a nice little bit of dinner before we go over tomorrow for the unveiling. So stay with us on this episode where we show you the boat as it arrives, show you all the cool things about the boat, and then later in the episode we'll tell you about why we selected it, what we're going to do with it, and what might be coming up in future episodes. So let's go.
The evening before seeing our new boat, we walked around New Bedford, first stopping at a terrific bar named Cultivator Shoals. The building has some cool history. The story is that the American writer Herman Melville lived upstairs in this building and began penning the famous novel Moby Dick while in residence here in 1850. Cool history, great bar, and super great cocktails. Highly recommended. For dinner, we headed a couple blocks over to the Black Whale, which is incidentally owned by the same proprietor as Cultivator Shoals. The restaurant is right on the New Bedford Harbor, the very heart of the New England fishing industry. The harbor likely has hundreds of vessels in it, from brightly painted to rust buckets that still work hard. We had some wonderful sushi and ran back to our hotel right as rain was starting for the evening. Just a quick note that if you ever need to spend an evening in New Bedford, the New Bedford Harbor Hotel is a lovely place. We stayed on the upper floor. The next morning, we awoke to a bright and sunny day and auspicious start to seeing our boat's arrival.
In 500 feet, your destination will be on the right.
That must be the truck it came in on.
Now your destination is on the right.
And that, in fact, was the truck it arrived on. We had heard that the truck would arrive around 7, but apparently there were some early activities going on at the marina, so they pulled the boat off the truck just before we got there. We missed it by about 10 to 15 minutes. And sure enough, there it is, just to the right of the crane, which is rolling back into the place as we arrived.
And here she is, all wrapped up. So wrapped up like this, Brad said she's 13 feet 2 inches tall. Yeah, it's all wrapped up for sure.
As we waited for the full crew to arrive to unwrap the boat, we just took a look out over South Wharf. You'll see an Antares 9 right there in front of you. Very nice harbor. And then the moment of fun. Cutting out the plastic wrap. Yeah, I know boats get unwrapped every year after you commission and decommission them here in the north where you want to button it up over the course of the winter. But seeing your own boat arrive after having been built in Poland, where I think the 11 is made, and then unwrapped for your first eyes, it's just a lovely feeling, and that's what we came here to do. So watching the crew take off the plastic, I know we're speeding it up here. It took us 4 minutes to watch it, but it was just great fun to see it arrive, our little baby, being unwrapped before our very eyes. Under the plastic wrap, you'll see the blue foam bits that Beneteau applied to the railings and other surfaces that were protruding the farthest. Presumably this was to protect from impacts on those furthest out bits, as well as protect the finish on the chrome and things like that. This is a fly version, so you can see I'm starting to take off the plastic over the top of the fly. I have some videos of what's on top of the fly I'll show you in just a little bit. And here's what Pretty Swell looks like after all the little blue foam bits were taken away. One thing to note, if you buy a new boat from the model year 2024 or forward, and by the way, this is considered a 2024 boat, Beneteau changed the transom, the lower part of the back seat that slides back and forth. Apparently it's a rite of passage for people to tilt their engines up into that movable seat, and many have been broken. So Beneteau changed the design of this rear transom seat in order to make room for the engines to tilt up. Do note, though, that this reduces the amount of space you'll have available for your name and hail.
So the unwrapping is done, and we thought that we would tell you why we chose this boat. Jay, why don't you say all the features that attracted you?
Well, maybe let's start with the fact that we weren't really boat people for a long time. We grew up in Colorado. We lived in Massachusetts for a while, but weren't really boat people until we got near to Cape Cod. And when we did that, we saw all the boats around there and thought, well, let's try that. So the first boat we got was a 27-foot bow rider, and that gave us some experience.
And having a boat, I'm not good on boats. I get motion sickness, so that was an issue with the 27-foot boat.
Well, that we also tried to get a boat that would be big enough for you so that it wouldn't be an issue. But 27-foot bow rider really just limited what we could do because there were day trips only. You know, it's fun to go over to some of the harbors around here in Cape Cod, but day trips out and back just felt like there's more to do.
And doing the same ones over and over and over again.
So we thought we'd try to find something with a cabin. And we were over getting gas one day, and there was one of these, traditional kind of Boston whale, not whalers. They are, what's the name of the Down East boats? That's right, the Down East style boats that had cabin underneath. And you, to my surprise, said this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Not something I expected to hear. So we set about looking at boats that were kind of in the next size up, kind of 30-foot, 40-foot. We're limited in where we're at to the kind of place you can put a boat. Slips are not easy to come by, and so we had to find something that would fit into a slip that we could get our hands on. So we started looking in the 30 to 40-foot range and looking for something new, because I think why not, if we're going to do this, take the plunge and do something new. And so we started searching, looked for all kinds of boats, and in the end, there were a few features, I think, that showed up for us why we picked the Antares 11. First, it's got 2 berths. One, so if we have company that wants to come with us on an overnight or something like that, we have a place for them to stay. Second of all, if we take a longer journey, maybe it has a place for us to store some things as we're going. So that was good. Our current boat is an inboard-outboard, an IO for you people who are boat people, and they're not as ideal as pure outboards. The outboards are a really big feature now because the boats or the engines are getting really good. They're powerful, you can get around, and they're much easier to service and take care of. So we're looking for something that might have outboards. That limited a lot because most of the boats in this size range that were overnights were all inboards. So they were trawlers and they were slower boats, and those would be fine, but the inboards or the IOs just didn't make sense. And the dual outboard of the Beneteau was the thing I was looking for. What about you, Judy? Anything that really stood out for you when we were looking online?
Well, the most important thing for me was you looked into a stabilizer
Oh, yeah.
for the boat.
We're going to get a seakeeper on this boat.
Yep.
We'll have more to say about that in the future.
You cut us off?
I don't know. Anyway, so the Seakeeper's going in. We'll do a video about that at some point along the way. But in the meantime, anything else that was standing out for you?
I wanted a place where, and I liked this particular boat because the bedroom or whatever, it's fairly spacious,
Yeah.
and it looks very comfortable, as does the shower and the whole living quarters downstairs.
So, outboard enclosed bridge, so we can
Yep,
stay
yep.
inside when the weather's foul. Nice sights downstairs, and a nice looking boat. So those are the things that were the selling points. There's probably a lot more things, but that's kind of what attracted us to the boat. Now back to some other stuff.
While we waited for Corey, the marine manager, to start the inspection of our boat, we wandered down and took a look at another Antares 11 that's in the Marina, which was great. We took a couple of notes on things to do. But while we were there, the Cape Yacht staff walked by and said they were commissioning another Beneteau sailboat and asked if we wanted to come down and watch as a preview for our own commissioning ceremony.
As we have welcomed thousands of sailors in the past, we hope for their guidance and to guide the vessel safely, hoping for a good mood beside it to care for you as you go out on the seas and for safe return. Great, congratulations. Thank you very much. We warned you, but it always sneaks up on you. Yeah, I think all over the anchor. Leave a little something for yourself.
And, well, here's my first YouTube diary fail. I walked into the boat as we started the initial inspection, holding my phone and taking a video. Or at least I thought I did. It turns out I hadn't started the video recording after all. So while I thought I took a good couple of minutes of first walking into our packed up boat, I missed it all. Of course, maybe that's for the best. All you'd have seen is all the cushions and plastic and other things packed in. Corey and his helper diligently worked down their checklist and confirmed all was built as ordered.
I was wondering, this all is the railing that goes around the rear to hold up stuff in the back, but the bridge actually does come semi-detached from everything else. So when they shift it to keep the height down and keep it legal for road, there we go. Yeah, as you can see, that bridge is totally taken apart. There's the bridge for the top, and this is the seating area for the top. So definitely all has to get put together. Somewhere in here, presumably, is the windscreen.
Might come in handy,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah. Shouldn't microwave? No.
All right. See you soon, pretty swell. We're gonna have some real adventures. Well, we're back home from Cape Yachts, seeing Pretty Swell unveiled. But that's just the beginning of the journey. From here, they have to mount the engines to the boat. We're getting a ceramic coat put on, a couple of electronics things done, and of course, every time you put a new boat on the water, I'm sure there'll be some gremlins that they have to go figure out. But we'll have a handover day coming up in 2 or 3 weeks, and we'll make a special video on that. So between now and then, I hope you've enjoyed our first experience and understand why we are so looking forward to having some really swell adventures on this boat. If you like what you've seen, please like and subscribe so we can have more people listen to what we're coming up with, and hopefully this is interesting to you. If you like what you're seeing here and you want us to cover some particular questions that you might have about the boat, put them down in the comments. We'll try to follow and see if we can put those into upcoming episodes. In the meantime, have your own pretty swell adventures on whatever boat you got now, and look forward to your own pretty swell adventures.